Hello to my Cancers. This is Queen Amun-Ra coming to you with your general reading. Cancers, let's get right on into it. This reading is going to be for the 8th through the 18th of January 2026. All of these readings are timeless, just FYI, okay? So instead of putting all the bonus videos that we had on this where y'all seeing the videos here, where y'all seeing several videos go up a week, I'm breaking it back down like we used to in the beginning. So if you've been with me from the beginning, you know, fixed signs will go up, or cardinal signs. They be grouped like that, like fixed cardinal signs, mutable signs. So we're taking it back there. The additional videos are going to go up either on the Patreon side or on the membership side. So your videos are going to go up on every Monday. That's everybody's video. Mondays. Motivational Mondays for everybody, right? But your videos are going up on Thursdays and Sundays, okay? Just FYI. I'm going to mention it a couple more times, you know, get people back into the swing of things. I think because so many people wanted bonus videos, and I was like, okay, you know what, we'll just put it all over. But that's not really fair to people who are paid for membership, or, you know, even though they're getting some extra videos over there, and then also on the Patreon side. So we're going to take it back to the original, right? Take it back to the original. All right, let's get right into it. The moon either the moon is still in Virgo. You can go look it up online to see what phase the moon is in. It could either be in Virgo or moving into, possibly moving into Libra, right? Either Virgo or Libra, right? So either or. So let's see what is going on. Let's see what the current situation is for you all. Let's see what the current situation is for you. All right, since you're a water sign, and so make sure that people are not trying to create something that's not really there for you all emotionally, right? And playing those silly games. All right, so let's get into it. Yeah, let's get into it. Let's see what's going on here. So I had to replace it. Let me just say this first. Thank you for those of you all who let me know that there were some issues with the microphone. I figured out which piece it was on the microphone. So I have a long cord going from my microphone to my camera, right? So there was a small piece on the there was a small piece that was causing the static. So thank you for those of you all who kindly, not the ones who put in the mean comments. I had to laugh at some of those comments, but y'all know the ones who were kind enough to say, oh, it was giving me some sound issues or whatever. So just give me a thumbs up if you can hear it just fine. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you can hear it just fine. Let's set an intention for your reading. Let's set an intention for your reading. Set an intention. All right, let's go. All right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. Your past is calling, don't answer. This is you, Cancer. Your past is calling, don't answer, right? So in terms of being emotional, right? In terms of being emotional, your past is calling, don't answer. Some people really, really want you to be all in your emotions, like be mad, like be overwhelmed, right? Underwhelmed or overwhelmed, right? It's okay. But people are trying to get you to be emotional about something, like so overwhelmed you're crying, or, you know, overwhelmed you're mad, you're, those emotions that they have. They want your emotions to mirror their emotions, right? And no, don't give them that. Don't give them that. So if in the past you were overwhelmed by something, and you know you're not overwhelmed today, whatever. That's all I can tell you. Just whatever. Something is already over, right? Something is already over. Don't give people your emotions for something. And you can actually help other people too, Cancers. Like if you're sitting on something and you know something that could help somebody else, like I like to get informations for veterans, for example, right? That's one of the things that I like to try to do, is like get information. Where do I find the information here? Especially if I know other veterans and I'm like, okay, do you know this? No, I don't really know. Okay, I'm gonna go find out because I want to find out. So if I meet other veterans, I can give them the information. This is the floor you go to. This is the person you talk to. This is the department that they're in. You know, that kind of stuff, right? Some people are just like, no, I don't know. Okay, all right, well, let me go find out, because if I'm asking, somebody else wants to know something, right? So what's the current situation for you? Current situation. Current situation, right? All right. Something is disappointing. Something is disappointing that somebody is being so shady with someone's past. This is what you have in common with someone. This is what you have in common with someone who is no respecter of person, right? I'm going to share something with you all that may help you. That may help you, because I feel like sometimes people feel like when people are in star position, star simply means hope, bliss, and optimism, okay, Cancers. And star Aquarius rules 11th house, and this is Aquarius's card. It could be 5 or 6 of swords, right? Because you're going through a storm. Somebody's going through a storm. You're just kind of trying to pass through onto calmer water. So let me help you with something, right? So when I relocated because I'm already in my 11th house, already in my 12th house, right? So in my 12th house, that's where the compassion is for other people, right? So that I would have had to go through my 11th house, 10th house, all the way back to first house, all the way to 12th house, right? So my heart is to help people just in general. If I have a question and I can't find somebody with the answer, I'm like, I know I can't be the only person that's want to know something. So I want to help other people with sharing information. So if they can use the information, they can use it. They can do their own fact checking, whatever, right? So when I relocated, it was for the purpose of helping people who wanted to get to their star, hope, bliss, and optimism. We're not talking about famous, because star does not mean famous, okay? It just means hope, bliss, and optimism. I'm already in my 11th house. I am already in my 11th house, meaning I've already answered the call on my life, right? So despite what other people may think my job title should be or what career I should be in, I'm very comfortable in my 11th house, right? And so when people are shady behind your back, like maybe they say, oh, this person, we thought that they would be bigger. They would be bigger than that. Like, we expected this person to own a chain of stores, and maybe you just have like a mom and pop shop, right? And your family could be some family or friends or loved ones be like, oh, if they moved to so-and-so, we thought they were going to be much bigger than such and such, right? Don't give any energy to that shade at all, because star does not mean famous, right? People keep on buying into this whole idea that stars are supposed to be rich and famous and this and that. When people are in your star seed, whoever you are a star seed, right? So you're going through, you could be going through something, but source is saying your ancestors are helping you on through, because it's not that they could, some people believe that your ancestors are talking to you, but whatever your beliefs are, this is more or less like your ancestors, like when they were alive, basically telling you, oh, that family, don't worry about this certain family member, they just being shady towards you and somebody else, like basically comparing their family to your family. And so in other words, oh, my family's a bigger star than your family, they doing this, and they, as far as you're concerned, hey, that's where the conversation ends. That's where you just cut it off right there. We talking about blood. This red here, this color red connects us with blood. Somebody is basically like, somebody sounds angry, or they seem angry. They seem like they're going through a storm. How would somebody know? How would somebody know? That's why you cutting ties with people. I'm telling you, when I relocated, I was thinking about two family members, and they're younger than I am. I can think two family members in particular. I was thinking about with my mind, and I was thinking to help two family members, and it was with the idea in mind that, okay, if I move somewhere, they would not have to incur a cost, and that's what you think when you love your family. You think, okay, if you move somewhere and they have to travel for their star, meaning their career or their vocation, whatever they were called to do, they could stay with you and they wouldn't have to pay extra money for things. That's what my thought has always been when it comes to, if I'm here, I have enough space or room for somebody else or whatever, right? For them to stay, or I can at least point them in the right direction. This is a neighborhood you can stay in. Their hotels are cheaper, if they're not staying with me or whatever. And so it's disappointing when you hear that your blood relatives would do something behind your back so shady, that because they don't know your heart, and you can even be the same zodiac sign as them, and some of them, because of who their parents are or who their friendship circles or whatever the case may be, And you could already be in your star because you know what star means. So the current situation is this. This is what a current situation is. Right? Current situation. What crosses? Yeah. Somebody has learned how to, somebody is fanning the flames for something, right? This connects us with Scorpio, and it connects us with something that's unhealthy and wounded when it comes to something that needs to be purged, right? So you could have family members that purge in a very unhealthy and wounded way, but they're not specific with things. Like, for instance, when I go and find out information about things, and I'm talking, you see water here, water is reflective of something, right? You want to be very detailed when you're sharing information of stuff that you're doing for family members behind their backs, blood relatives, right? You could be like, okay, I'm going out and I'm looking for information for this person because I had a feeling, you're the I feel sign. I had a feeling that somebody needs something, right? This is what you have in common with an Aquarius, right? I have a feeling that somebody needs something, and because they're my blood relative, you know, I want to make sure I keep it high vibrational, right? And so you could be all excited, even if it puts a financial strain or weight on you. You're just excited for them, right? This is you. You're just excited for them, right? But then when you find out their circle of friends, because that's what 11th house is. 11th house is friendship and alliances, right? When you feel like you're on their team, when you got their six, when you got their back, you're like, okay, you got their back because they're blood relatives, and you're saying, okay, I'm doing something that's going to help them to transition. Like, basically, you're saying, I'm doing something ahead of them so that it's going to make it easier for them coming behind you, right? Something that you're doing so it can make it easier to come in. And they look at something as like, they do something shady to you behind your back, and you're like, wow. So whatever industry you work in, right, 6th house is career, you know, those kind of things, and they do something shady behind your back, you're just like, oh wow, okay, all right. Right? And you've actually talked to them, like you've told them, like you told a particular family member, hey, water is shaped and guided by the earth that holds and surrounds it, right? You told a family member, I'm going to move here. Like, you could be moving to France, or you could be moving to Spain, or moving to Africa, wherever you move into, right? I'm moving here. That's going to help your life be a lot easier. And they still align themselves with friends and stuff to do something to stab you in the back, to be shady behind your back. Or you have a choice to go high vibrational. Put your emotions behind lock and key and go high vibrational. Because what's coming, it ain't gonna be no next. You're not making it to 7, 8, 9, 10 of swords. You're not making it to that. 4 of swords is you getting rest. 4 of swords is you getting some rest, right? Because somebody needs to mature. Somebody really, really needs to mature, right? This is somebody in your family who says some shady stuff behind, or did some shady mess behind your back. You need to go ahead and just let it rest. Just let it rest. Something very unhealthy and wounded. And that's the reason why people just move on. Somebody could be overthinking something. Somebody could be a warrior. Like, they could be a worrywart. Like somebody who worries about every little thing. When they're going through a storm, they could feel like they're helping people behind their back, but they're actually stabbing people in the back because they haven't gotten a full story about anything, about who's traveling through a storm. Like I said, when they're on my readings, y'all saw a lot of readings go up in 2025 because people were asking for bonus. So I was like, you know what? People asking for bonus videos. I'm not going to mention people's names. I'm just going to bring it out in the cards. Let it come out in the cards, right? Without mentioning people's names, right? Because so many people are going through the same thing. But y'all are hearing what I'm saying now. Your readings, Cancers, cardinal signs in particular, but since this is your reading, is going to go up on Mondays. That's everybody's readings. Thursdays, and it's going to go up on Sundays, okay? And then, of course, Monday. So it's going to seem like you're getting readings back to back, Sunday and Monday, right? Somebody just does not want to do the work. This is somebody in your family. They don't want to do the work. So they keep being shady and doing stuff to you behind your back. You're going to have to raise your frequency, whoever you are, and to cut them off. That could be a challenge because it's a family member that's doing it. It's a loved one. Because now they could be trying to cover up the blood, right? They could be trying to cover up the blood that they shared. They played a role in something. Now they could be trying to cover something up, right? By saying that they're too high vibrational for so and this and that, so on and so forth. But hey, there's a red flag right here. There was already a red flag in something, right? And so you talking about this is a yellow flag, you were inspired to talk about it. And a lot of people have the same thing in common. Like you can help blood relatives out, and somebody was so impulsive. This red connects us with Aries, connects us with Mars, connects us with the color red, right? Somebody was so impulsive in what they did, shady behind your back. Now, because they're inspired by you, right? You're inspired to talk about it, to help other people. You're paying it forward. This is you being in your masculine energy. Because it was somebody needed to purge something. And water, because it's reflective, and this is the sad part about it. Water, because it's reflective, they could be copying stuff, like depending on what their position is, they could be copying stuff, right? They could end up getting them in trouble, especially if somebody didn't give them permission to do it. This right here connects us with Scorpio and Libra, right? So they may have gotten some kind of, depending on what their position or their rank or whatever it is, they could have gotten permission legally behind someone's back without them even knowing it in the courts. I know when I worked for a particular organization, and we didn't work in that department, we didn't have any access, wasn't supposed to have access to records. I wouldn't know who was what. Right? All I knew is that if I worked in that, or I've heard about people doing stuff and immediately getting fired, right? So somebody has a family member that they don't want to go through their storms. They rather do stuff behind people's back. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to do the work. So this is what you have in common. This is what you have in common with somebody. It's having a loved one who, this scarf is up high. So they could be in a high level position, and it could be a blood relative that's doing stuff. But these black birds right here lets me know it's over. It's over. They ain't gonna make it to 10 of swords. It's over. You cut them off. You're doing something unhealthy and wounded that needs to be purged. And like I said, Queen of Swords connects us with Libra, and it connects us with Scorpio. They doing this kind of stuff to affect people that you have in common. They doing this kind of mess. Nope. Yep. Distant past. Yep. Every time I've moved, I've always thought about loved ones. Okay, if this person needed a place to stay, if this person, that's just my heart towards just loved ones in general. But there's some loved ones that you either don't know or you don't talk to anymore because you could have moved away, you could have gotten married, you could have had kids. You don't part ways always on for negative reasons. Sometimes you literally just move away and your life is so busy, you don't have time to talk to people, right? You don't have time, and they still doing shady mess behind your back. So yeah, that's a form of bullying. That's a form of bullying. It's two energies here. Your sun sign, or you could have talked to somebody where things just flow for you and them, whoever they are. But you'll also know when somebody has come in between that flow, right? This right here, this air has something unhealthy and wounded has come in between that flow, right, of that energy. You'll know. You could be watching something. These could look like two eyes. You could be watching something and you could be like, wow, yeah, that sounds like my family would do that. They sound like my family member would do some mess like that. You could be somewhere and you could have your head down low. Like, for instance, if I'm out and I'm not interested in somebody and somebody's looking at me, I'll look away from them. Like, I'm not even trying to make eye contact, no 2-3 second eye contact. I'm not interested in you. So I ain't gonna give you the impression that I'm interested. So I'm not even giving you the impression that I'm interested. Everybody's adult. You can say hi to people. You can give somebody a compliment or whatever the case may be. But I don't want somebody to think that I'm interested in them and I'm not. Recent past. Yeah, you let somebody into your house. Like, physically, you let somebody into your house. And they were being used by a family member. They were being used by a family member because somebody felt like, okay, this is the key to doing something shady behind your back. So you letting somebody into your house, whoever you are, Cancer, somebody who is your soulmate, you know when things usually flow for you all, and then you know when somebody has gotten in between that. This could be your kids, your bonus kids. It could be somebody you're mentoring. It could be a student. It could be anybody that you feel like. You could be a college professor and you could have a college student that you're mentoring, and things just flow. So you know when somebody is getting in between something and doing something shady behind your back. And somebody is just really cold and callous by the way that they do stuff. Somebody could wear a band around their head like this person right here, who could have the same thing in common with family members. They could have the same thing in common that you have with family members that do this cold and callous stuff, right? And so somebody is really, they have the same thing in common. Like, basically the same thing that happened to them could be happening to you in your own family, right? With somebody where they felt like they were left out of something. They always get real close to something and then the door is slammed in their face, right? But the difference between you, this could be a Scorpio in your family, right? We're talking about high vibrating Scorpio, right? Y'all could be on the same frequency, right? So for you and this Scorpio, something may not be that deep, right? Because Scorpio is water sign. You could be Scorpio sun or moon. You could be a Cancer sun or moon. Even though my readings speak to all placements in your birth chart. Where Aquarius comes in, and this is where you're no respecter of person, is that Pluto, which is the roller coaster planet, is in Aquarius until 2043, okay? And the fact that somebody that you know that everybody has in common would do something behind someone's back, like astral projection, if you believe in whatever, behind someone's back, saying that they are soulmates for somebody and basically abusing their position to do something behind someone's back to their friends and say, oh, we're all a team, we're all on the same team, and we're all, getting together. There's something that's going to backfire because too many people have the same thing in common. Too many people have the same thing in common in their own families. Too many people have the same thing in common in their own families. When somebody wants to gain access to someone's home, they'll use the person who really wants to be a part of something. They'll use a loved one who is depressed or sad, or whereas you or me may be a person that's like, okay, I'm keeping people out of my business, right? I'm keeping people out of my business, right? So somebody feels like what goes on behind closed doors stays behind closed doors, right? Not if it's going to hurt somebody. No. You're part of that school, then I don't know what to say. Yeah, here we have the Page of Swords here. No, if it's going to hurt, if it's going to help somebody, that's different. That's going to help somebody that's different. I met somebody today that I'm writing a letter for this person, but this is a very specific thing that they helped with, right? But I'm also mentioning something else in the letter as well, too. But somebody feels like you either are writing a book or reading a book or something sounds like your story or whatever the case may be. Like I say in my readings, when I do bonus videos, a lot of people will send me text messages saying, can you discuss this topic? Can you talk about this? Can you talk about that? Sure, right, Because so many people have the same thing in common. So somebody is trying to overwhelm somebody, and somebody's being real cold-hearted about it. Real cold-hearted about it. But your image and likeness is like a loved one where something for you is not really that deep. So somebody almost has to make something super intense for you. Like, they want you to go through a rebirth. So some kind of a death rebirth happening here. This is the 8, 6, and 2 of swords right here. I don't necessarily believe in destiny swapping. I feel like you got copycats out here, right? And so somebody is trying to copy your likeness and image, but they're trying to be so intense about it and copying your likeness and image that it seems like they're trying to swap destinies. But something that somebody did, they mirror every little thing that you do, down to copying everything that you do, right? So me writing a book about destiny swapping, for instance, which I put up on Instagram, so if you follow me there, is not talking about what's going on behind, the scenes of whatever agency I work with. It's really it's going on in the city where I work, and I was very clear about that. And so somebody wants to know who you're flowing with. Somebody wants to know who you're flowing with, or who you talking to behind their backs. Like who are you flowing with? Who's giving you this information? Like who's feeding you the information? Because you've dealt with stuff. You've already dealt with stuff. Like I mentioned, speaking of this book right here, that writing a book primarily about what's going on around in a city, basically talking about like maybe homeless veteran community. That's part of it. Homeless veteran community is to educate loved ones. Like, hey, if you got a loved one that's moving to your city, state, or town, you may not necessarily want them to physically live with you. That's okay. But if you feel like you have access to the hotels, or what do they call? They're not as popular anymore, like Airbnbs, or somewhere they can stay. That's because I'm looking at this person who has a key to something, somewhere they can stay that's not going to cost them a whole lot of money. Or like if you plan something around, like let them know that you're on their team. That's what you're doing, like letting people know that you're on. I've traveled there, I've been there, letting you know I'm on your team. But something, looking at your cards here, this is your strength right here. Your strength is that you're an open book. And not only are you an open book, you're detailed with it. Right? That's how you'll know if people are genuinely on your team, or them people that's doing sneaky stuff behind your back. That's why when you're past this calling and people want to overwhelm you, saying, oh yeah, both of us going through the same storm. No, we're not going through the same storm. No, we're not. And that's not you judging somebody. We're not going through the same storm. Because I'm very, very detailed and descriptive in what's going on. And I've already passed through that. So I'm sharing information so yours will be smoother. That's what you're telling people, like, I've already gone through that, right? I've already sailed on the dry land, but I'm doing this so that yours can be smoother. Just like you saying, okay, I already moved to a location, so when you travel there, you won't have to pay out as much. Or let's say you work for an airline or a train station or travel or whatever boat. You could work for a cruise line, and you can tell people, hey, what's the best days to travel? So they don't have to go through, oh man, I'm going through something, and this is another thing that's going to weigh me down. The cost of something, right? Here you are, you work in that industry, travel industry, right here. This is this boat right here. You could work for a cruise line and say, hey, look, these are the best days to travel. We got something coming up. Why? Because you got the email first. Because you got the email first. You're trying to help people, and it's just disappointing that people would do stuff behind your back because of their position or their rank. It's just ridiculous. That's what makes people cut loved ones off, right there. Here's a tower right here. Influences on you. Some people are just impulsive because they feel like their back is against the wall for other things that have nothing to do with you, have nothing. So they just go and create stuff, sitting around recording stuff. Oh, we saw them crying in a video. That's so sad. That's why you got to start letting people know, hey, listen, okay, somebody watching you being shady behind your back, and some of these people are being ruthless when they're doing it. They're being ruthless when they're doing it. That's why you got to get in front of stuff. You got to be innovative and get in front of stuff and let people know, hey, listen, we may be blood relative, but some of y'all's family members have already told you how shady people are behind your back. Somebody gonna come back around and say, oh, I was just playing. Oh, I thought because somebody said. Okay, you know what? Now you cut off. And I'm going to tell you to your face you cut off. That's what you're saying to these people. You cutting them off. Emotionally, you're cutting them off. You're saying, because somebody's like, I saw you crying. Somebody saw you either lamenting or crying or sad about something, right? And automatically said you were depressed. Automatically wanted you to go do some kind of evaluation or something like that. You could have flat out told somebody you're not depressed, you're not sad, you're in good spirits, all of that, right? There's many different forms of water, right? Many different forms of water. You could be a person who loves to swim. You could be a person that loves to ice skate, right? You could be a person who loves to jet ski. When we talk about water being in your element, you could love all those things, right? But because these energies are not familiar with what you're doing, traveling, you could be a person. I feel like somebody could work on a cruise line or maybe thought about going on a cruise or whatever. Somebody has a lot of things in common. They like to do a lot of things that you like to do. But because you moved on, they're being shady behind your back. They're being shady behind your back. And this is what you have in common with an Aquarius. You and an Aquarius have the same thing in common with certain family members. They love to fan the flames about somebody must be sleeping with somebody, or that's why they're not talking to people, or last time they remember they talked to somebody was in a relationship with somebody, or somebody with sexual orientation, or they like this type, or they looking into something, always doing investigative work because nobody talking to them. Child, listen, they can put the past behind them too. Yep, here we go. Yeah. Something that you're hearing is just heartbreaking. It's just sad that people even do that, because it's a nightmare that these energies, these are worry warts. They just sit around and worry about everything instead of talking to people. They talk about people behind their back. Worrying about every little thing. And you done moved on. You traveling. You loving your life. And they still talking about people behind their back. Child, please. So anyway, you've already moved on. You've already moved on. So kudos and congratulations to you. Y'all know where Cancer is in my birth chart. But find out what your zodiac sign is in your 6th house, your 2nd house, your 5th house, your 4th house, because you are ruled 4th house, right? Your 4th house, right? Find out what your zodiac signs are in these houses. But that's the reason why, because so much shady stuff has been done to try to get you put out of your home and to mess up your money to a point where, because people feel like they got behind closed doors and they got what you don't. Listen, this is a game y'all really don't want to fall into. Y'all let some family members into your home, right? It could have been one family member that was closest to you that could have been dating someone, right? It could be just that they could have been dating someone, or somebody who was jealous of you. They thought you were arrogant when it was really them that was arrogant, right? They got into your home. They copied some information, because this is water. This is a form of water, right? And the person was very cold-hearted. So this could be a person who was like, they're soulmates. They flow together. It could be an adult child. It could be someone's ex, somebody that's closest to you. They could have worked with you, worked for you, been close to you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. You thinking y'all flow together, but as soon as this energy, y'all don't know exactly who it is. As soon as the energy came into the mix, then that's when y'all started parting ways, right? Y'all started parting ways. And this is a person that there's a physical touch to it. It's not somebody who talked to somebody. Y'all parted ways. They either slept together, gone out on a date together, something, is somebody's ex. It could be family member, whatever. Soon as they link up, that's what we're saying. As soon as they linked up, y'all started having issues. Y'all didn't flow anymore. But the difference is, and this is why something wasn't as deep for you, and somebody got to keep doing something until it is that deep, until you conform. Because something isn't that deep for you. You're like, oh, okay, you know what? They started dating somebody. Hey, it's like a parent recognizing that their kids are just starting to really date and be in a loving relationship with somebody. You're like, okay, you just pray for them and say, okay, they found their person, that you've been praying that one day they find their person. It could be a bonus child or a mentee or something, or it can even be a sibling that you just like, I'm so glad they finally found somebody. We used to travel together. We used to go on trips and stuff together, but they finally found somebody, and I'm just happy for them. So something wasn't even really that deep for you, but for them, because you moved on, because you chose to move on, it was that deep for them. It was that deep for them. And so they feel like they want to sting you. Sting you. They want you to cry. They want you to cry because of their departure. Y'all listen. Like I said, your past is calling. You're not answering because now you know what they did behind your back. They wanted you to cry because of their departure. And you genuinely happy for somebody. That's the disappointing part. They started celebrating too soon. Started celebrating a little too soon. They won't be celebrating now. So the outcome for you and hopes and fears is that somebody can move on from their heartbreak, even talking about past heartbreak. Yeah, my heart is going out to those of you all who are going through stuff, you know, like this. I don't know. This could be an Aquarius, right? So it's not me. I'm not going through whatever. So somebody wants to make something so deep for you that you're crying because of their departure, right? Not necessarily happy tears either. They really want you to feel that they have moved on. Like, what kind of narcissism is that? Like, they feel like you're not crying hard enough because they moved on. And you're genuinely, you prayed. Some of these people, you prayed that they find a better job. You prayed that they find the love of their lives. And you probably said, okay, hey, you about to go on a cruise by yourself or travel or take a plane somewhere, or flight somewhere. You're actually trying to help somebody along through their storms in life. And they want to sting you. They got the right one. They're going to be disappointed. Outcome. We're not talking about distant loved ones who they don't even know y'all related. We're not. That's some sneaky mess. If you know somebody related to you and you don't tell them that y'all related, that's sneaky. Okay, that's just straight up sneaky, right? But we're talking about somebody that's close to you. Somebody that's close to you, like they know, y'all know that y'all are blood related. Y'all know that y'all are blood related, and they have said out of your mouth they shady, or they told you about a shady loved one. Page of this is the outcome. You have a whole new lease on life. Whole new lease on life. Sometimes people's kids will tell on them. Sometimes people I'm talking about in your family. We're not talking about the other side of the family. We're talking about your family. Your family, right? We're talking about blood relatives close to you, like first generation. We talking about second remove, y'all know, the up the line, whatever. So your past is calling, you're not answering. Somebody from your past really wants you to be sad because they moved on. Good for them. For real, y'all are genuinely happy. Y'all done already moved on. Y'all already moved on. Somebody wants to see you. They want to link up with you. They feel like y'all just flow. No, y'all don't flow anymore. They let somebody. If y'all flowed, if it was that deep for y'all, if it was really that deep for you all, they would have told you what was going on. That was disappointing. They would have told you what was going on. If y'all really flowed like that, they would have told you who sent them into your home. That somebody sent them into your home, physically sent them into your home. We ain't talking about talk to over the phone. We talking about physically you let them in your house where you keep your bank statements or in your vault, or because this looks like a vault. You gave them access to a portal. Like you gave them the key to something, maybe your physical home, or if this is a padded lock, you know, like a lock where you had to put the such stuff. And they let people who were on the other side of this door gain access to your life. No, you moving on. You disappointed that they would do that to you when you gave them access. So this is an organization that somebody's a part of. They want to be a part of an organization so bad that they would literally jeopardize your safety, y'all. Even after you were so warm-hearted to them, they wanted to come in from out of the cold, and somebody said, "Well, this is what the information. This gonna be the key. If you want to come into, if you want to get into this organization, then you're gonna have to get us information to, you know, who their friends are, you know, who's on their team. You're gonna have to get us this information," and almost cause you to get put out your home. You're gonna have to be an open book about it. Don't sit there on that information. Open your mouth. Why do you think these people are putting these videos up saying, don't trust this group of people, don't trust this organization, don't trust that organization? It's not everybody in the organization. It's just certain people who abuse their power and their position. I could not imagine being a part of any organization and abusing my power and my position. First of all, somebody should know that somebody, if they found out, somebody would get fired. It could be a particular chapter of an organization. But these two soulmates told this person, you physically going to somebody, you want to be a part of this family. Family could be an organization. It could be a blood relative family. You want to be a part of this family when they had already made this person feel like they were just an outcast anyway. Right? So yeah, Pluto being in Aquarius can feel like an emotional roller coaster because people keep trying to make people, feel like a fool, right? Here we have the spy is now turned on. That's why you can't blame an entire organization. You can't say it's the entire organization. It's just certain people. There's certain people who would do that cold mess. If you want to be a part of this organization or family, then you're going to have to go get some information that you're going to have to basically pay us. You're going to have to basically pay us. Crown chakra cleanse. Adjust your crown. The spy is now turned on. New love awaits. Listen to your inner child. So, yeah, your past is calling. Somebody realized when they got some information from somebody, oh, we flow together, and and this person, they really got my six, they got my back. I love what they talking about, and such and such and such. How about getting that information when you at Ace of Swords? How about Ace of Swords? How about getting that information from the beginning when you're talking to somebody? That's why they don't flow together. Too busy being sneaky, trying to win at all costs. Be patient. The answers you seek are coming. You're finally healing from the pain that they caused. There you go. Your next love interest will make you happier. Somebody failed at stealing your identity. Somebody had a copycat. I keep trying to tell people that cancers are sweethearts. I can't speak for every single cancer, but the high vibrational cancers are really, really sweet. At the root, when you purge, you're a sweetheart, right? I'm just put it that way. You're a sweetheart. But somebody did something behind your back that was just so, shady towards you. That's when you talk to them directly. You've already moved on from something, right? You've already moved on from something. They did something to a blood relative that you felt like, okay, this person didn't even have to do that. Like, they know I got my family members back. They did this to my own friend. Okay, all right, let me just raise my frequency and just move on. Right? Back straight, walk away. Yep. First red flag, pray and meditate. Time to ground yourself. Yep. Make room for a new blessing. You have the gift of clairaudience. Yep. Don't give yourself a headache over it. I feel like this is somebody that you knew in your 20s. Whoever you are. This is somebody you may have met. They were either in their 20s or you were in your 20s. For somebody. Yeah. There's something to somebody who's a star. So the outcome is this. Like I said, this whole new lease on life. Again, you can be either a sun or star. That's why people need to talk to people. Talk to people. Stop assuming people know what's going on. Astral projecting and, a person has a certain air about them. They seem like they would do that to their own blood relative. Talk to people directly, like for real. Talk to people directly for real. Yeah. You can feel like you're going through some kind of a storm in life and Somebody heard that somebody was either reading a book or writing a book, and they just went crazy, like for real. They just lost it. Oh my God, I wonder if I'm gonna be in the book and what they gonna say and such and such and such and such. You can say something as clear as day, Cancer. I'm telling y'all, could say something as clear as water, and I'm talking about clear water. That you are reading a book and the book inspired something, right? And somebody will still think you're talking about them. You know why? Because there's nothing new under the sun, and because a lot of people have the same thing in common. A lot of people have the same thing in common. That's why you're cutting some people off. That's the reason why you're cutting some people off. That's why when your past is calling and some people are realizing, oh my God, this person is looking out for so-and-so. Oh, I got to get, because we really flow now. See, that's my soul. Click. And first of all, they won't even make it through the line. Click. Yeah. Yep. Somebody now knows that you have, somebody either now knows that you have the back of people who have public service positions, because this is spirit right here. Action and assertion. This speaks to fire. This is sixth house here. So Wands energy speaks to spring, right? So planting seeds. So somebody could have planted a seed in a while ago, that they were up for some kind of an award or something like that, or something, whatever, right? But because they did something behind someone's back, right? Because that's all they was thinking about is just competition. Somebody was in competition mode. That's all they was in, competition mode. Now that you realize that somebody did something behind your back, this is a family member, just so we're crystal clear, right? They would have told you. They would have told you that they were up for something, coming up for something, right? You're not going. You won't be in the audience. So you congratulating them, good for them, but you won't be in the audience because of what they did to win. You won't be in the audience. If you that cutthroat that you would do something to somebody that you have in common just to win something, nah. You beyond selfish. So yeah, your past is calling. You ain't answering. Somebody likes to give all of this. I got everybody's back. I'm there for somebody. This is somebody has a fire sign. Either there's earth, either their sun or moon is fire. Fire could be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Will do anything to win. Anything. Telling her, I got your back. I'm this. I'm that. Just. They telling everybody in this circle, they got everybody back for everything. Now they realizing they flow with somebody after what they did. And now that somebody's an open book, basically saying, hey, listen, they never saw them as competition. They have their back as a group, as a collective group. Because like I said, Wands, somebody planted a seed early on, and now somebody wants to call you and say, hey, I want to invite you to something. They might as well go ahead and save, they can save whatever, the 15 cent. Look, we don't even have phone booths anymore. In some parts of the world, I don't know if it's any other parts of the world, they might as well save their money, save their breath. Anything to win. I mean, just cutthroat. Just anything to win. So no, you don't have nothing to do with them. They're going to think you being negative because they're so impulsive. But you're not negative. You just don't flow like that. You just don't flow like that. Somebody thinks that y'all are soulmates. You just don't flow like that. Like, Self-love. Let the wall fall that separates me from my own vulnerable inner child. I long to take care of myself like never before. Somebody thought that you were lying about something, like, because you are a sweetheart and that you had their back, right? So you wanted to see them get some kind of a prize or some kind of an award or see them on stage or something. Like, you told them, hey, I'll be there. But then when you found out what they did, you was like, see, somebody you feel like y'all could be friends, you literally said out of your mouth, you were telling the truth, like you were for real. You like, I'll be there, they send you an invitation, whoever this energy, yeah, I'll be right there. But not anymore, now that you found out what they did behind your back. This is a either a sun, moon, or rising, either their sun or moon sign and y'all don't need their time of birth to know to pull their birth chart, is a Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. This is in your family. This is blood relative. This is not second, third, fourth remove. This could be a niece, an uncle, an aunt, a cousin. Y'all got the point. It could be your own child, if it, whoever. Blood relative. Somebody. Anything to win, and can't figure out for the life of them why in the world some people don't want to show up for them. They can't figure it out. They cannot figure out to save their life. So you're looking at a somebody just crossed the line. Somebody crossed the line. They did something. They just did the most. They crossed the line. Always bet on you. Always bet on you. Always bet on you. Your bitter ex's lover wants you. I don't know what that even means. Root chakra cleanse. You got to the root of something. You got to the root of something. Yep. So like I said, my book is primarily about the homeless community in a particular area and the stories that they have shared. And like a lot of them are veterans, right? Who could have received some kind of help. We don't mean like just letting somebody live with you, because you don't really know what is going on with everybody and like what they may have gone through, but having the compassion to say, okay, trying to help in some way, but you're telling them like, okay, I'm going to get some information for you and it to help you with something, right? Not doing stuff behind somebody's back like surprise. No, not for somebody who has not for somebody who is being open and honest with you. You know, you want to be open and honest with them as well. So somebody is now recognizing that you really, again, this is a blood relative that knows that you are a blood relative, right? Like I said, water is shaped and guided by the earth that holds and surrounds it, right? I realized there were some family members who was on their way to their star, right? And so when I relocated with them in my, I'm already in my star energy, meaning I already answered the call on my life, right? And so star energy doesn't mean your title and position, right? It's your 10th house, your career and your vocation, right? What you were called to do. So it's disappointing when you said I was called to do something, and I'm at least told one of those people, right, that's in the same age group, that could have relayed the message to somebody else, could said, hey, listen, you Cancer, you travel to this place or you travel to that place, and you know, to help them out, because you've already gone through that already. Like, let's say you've already gone to engineering school or whatever, and for you had to go through some storms while you were in engineering school, so you already laid the groundwork out for this loved one and said, hey, listen, so I can tell you how I went through certain storms, right? And so instead of them telling you that they're going through a storm, they doing all kinds of stuff behind your back, like just to win something. Like, are you serious? Unbelievable. Yeah, so looking at your cards here, there's a form of water here that's just steam, you know, like somebody could feel like, somebody is just blowing off somebody could feel like you're just, if whatever platform you're blowing off steam or whatever the case may be, or somebody could think that you're smoking mirrors, because I'm looking at this metal here for this. Somebody could think that you're smoking mirrors. You're not smoking mirrors. I keep trying to tell people high vibrating Cancers are sweethearts. They really, really are sweethearts, and they'll do stuff to help people behind their back, whether they realize they're helping them or not, right? But if you tell at least one person you're doing something to help them behind, and they hold that information to themselves and not helping, you know, the other people, like one key person knows that you were doing something to help a group of people. They wanted something all for themselves. So no. Yep. So your message really is like sobering people up, because you're of a sober mind. You're of a sober mind. You're very, very clear in your that's why it's so detailed. It's literally like you're nurturing, whether you're a man or woman, Cancer, your nurturing is so deep for people that it's almost like people are thirsty for your water to a point where it drives people, like people who are in such a masculine, like overly masculine, like unhealthy masculine energy, who needs to they want to physically be, because they feel like, okay, when we soulmates, we just flow together. No, you don't flow together with somebody who first said that you just smoke in mirrors about how compassionate and really you're a sweetheart. And now people realize, okay, this person really does have my back. No, we don't flow together. Now somebody's like, I need to put down the drinking, because you're of a sober mind. You're of a sober mind. You've been of a sober mind. So yeah, somebody from your past wants to really, really reach out. I don't know who this is, Cancer, but somebody's really, this is a, this could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Remember, it's either this sun or moon sign, okay? Excuse me. Speaking of water, I have lots of water that I use when I'm drinking when I'm doing my readings here. Or I just like water, period, right? I don't drink, but again, like I don't drink and I don't smoke, but somebody feel like, oh, I need to put the smoking and drinking down. I really didn't. And again, I'm not judging anybody by that, because whatever people feel like they need, if they're doing something responsibly and they feel like, okay, something removes their anxiety or whatever, but the fact that they would do something behind, your back, excuse me, to be so shady with other loved ones, just to win something over, y'all don't flow. Y'all don't flow. That's the one you really need to keep out of your business, because you'll do anything to win. You really need to keep them out of your business. They'll do anything to win. That's a form of bullying. They'll do anything to win. So them calling you, that's going to be a no. They need to go ahead and get that. Hopefully they got that energy. That's going to be a no. They want to tell you how they weren't thinking clearly, whoever this is. They weren't. Because you straight up told them that if they got some kind of award or something, you'd be right there. You'd be right there. You got their back. Whatever they're going through, they got their back. So, yeah, whoever this is, you got to the root of something. Just because of how detailed you are, you got to the root of something with this family member. Yep. Now somebody feels like they were baited into something. This is night. Now that you're talking, this is where you in your masculine energy, right? You must have been talking to an Aquarius. Aquarius probably said, you need to speak up. Like, what are you just sitting there for? Like, somebody may have said to you, Cancer, why don't you speak up? Like, why are you just sitting there holding on to all of this information, right? So again, now that you're speaking up, on somebody's behalf, like basically like, wait a minute. You're speaking your truth about a situation, and whoever this energy is, like I said, they felt like they were so detailed in something. This is the 6th of, find out what your zodiac sign is in your 6th house. Virgos rule 6th house. Right? Yeah. Find out what your zodiac sign is in your 6th house. Now that you're speaking up about something, people are now starting to say, you know what, if they from your past and you've already moved on from something, I don't know who this is going to help, but you've already moved on from something and you really did have their back, even though you may have moved on from something, your word was really your bond, meaning that if they were getting some kind of an award or something where the spotlight was on them, even for a minute, because everybody knows how that feels. Like you look out in the audience, you want to see, okay, is this person going to be there? They going to be there? This person going to be there? That person going to be there? Oh, good. You want to have all this love around you. And somebody still, child, listen, the people going to be there that want to be there. The people that, they wanted some people there, but you won't be there. That's what I have for you. Hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully this is helpful. But you got to the root of something. You could also be dealing with an earth sign. That's Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Yeah, you got to the root of something. Somebody will do anything to win in your family. I don't know who this is, but They saw you as competition from the day one, so they needed to separate you and somebody else so they can be right in the middle of things. Now somebody is speaking up. Now somebody is speaking up. This is misery loves company. They swore up and down that you was, whoever you are, Cancer, they swore up and down that you, being nurturing, a nurturing person, was trying to break these two people up, right? Yeah, try to break you and somebody up. But now you're keeping people out of your business. I'm like, I don't want to be a part of something. So whoever this is, I don't feel like I'm talking to somebody who really wants to be. Either you're a person, this is about perspective. Either you're a person who keeps people out of your business, or you invite people into your business, right? But you're like, yeah, you're moving on from something. If I ever wanted to be a part of an organization, I would show interest. If I don't, then I don't. It's just that clear for me. It's just that clear. And if I'm asking questions, if I stepped into something and I ask questions and people can't answer questions, I'm like, okay, I'm out, because you're not answering their questions. I need to know certain things. It could be for various reasons. It could be because you have a clearance and you want to know certain things. It could be for so many reasons why you need details about things. Right? So yeah, nope. You deserve the best. Yeah, you deserve the best. That's what I have for you. Hopefully this is healthy. Hopefully this is helpful. But again, yeah. There can be some people that's a part of an organization, and they could be a part of a very unhealthy, whether it's a chapter or group, whatever it is. And I'm speaking of these videos that I'm trying to remember who this person is. She films a lot of videos on YouTube, because that's what I'm saying chapter for, because there's a woman, I can't remember her name. She gives people information about what goes on behind the scenes in organizations. And she interviewed with different types of organizations, right? And that's what I'm thinking of when I say this, see this right here. People should be able to ask questions. People really should be able to ask specific questions. Whoever you are, should be able to ask specific questions. So what does it take for this? What does this entail? What does that? Somebody should be able to ask specific questions. And if people don't know, they should be able to point to other people and say, okay, well, I don't have the answer to that. That's in all humility, but this person has the answer to it. So you got some people that's a part of an organization and like, we're so disappointed they're talking about so and so and so forth. You got to be a person that says you're not talking about an entire organization or an entire group of people. It's a specific mindset of certain people, right? It's a specific mindset of certain people. Like, you can't say it's an entire family. It could be certain people within the family that's just shady. That's just shady. If they really had your back, yeah. Somebody's basically like, you moved on and they don't want you back and you don't want them back. So now y'all on the same sheet of music. So yeah, so nine of wands, like I said, the seed was planted. Like I said before, this is 9 of wands here. That's about determination to keep your focus on your ideas. Yeah, keep your focus on your ideas, right? Yep. Somebody's basically like, ever since you moved either up north, or somebody could have a Sagittarius moon. Somebody could feel like ever since, because I'm saying this on this card here, somebody could feel like ever since you moved somewhere that your whole spirit has changed really, really fast. That's what somebody's basically saying. Your spirit has changed really fast. And they're basically justifying why you're not a part of something, right? But again, if you wanted to be a part of something, you would have shown interest, right? You would have shown an interest. So don't even buy into that. Don't even let that even sit in your mind. Don't even get fixated on that. Like, let that sit in your mind for real. Because if somebody really wanted you to be a part of something, guess what? They would have talked to you before you moved on, right? Or they would have at least had a key person to say, hey, let this family member know that you're moving somewhere, or you're getting this job, or you're doing something. Let if they're in your age range, let's say it's your kids and their cousins or whatever the case may be, you tell your child, hey, listen, let family members know if they ever need, like if they're sailing on through, like onto dry land, once they get settled, they have a place to stay, or you have somebody has an Airbnb. I don't know if they're as popular as they used to be, but something where they can kind of get settled. So yeah, somebody just in it to win something. That's it. Yep, you can put the past behind you. Because somebody saw you either lamenting or crying over something, and that's all they saw, right? Something up north. I can tell y'all a whole bunch of stories, but we'll leave that off of. This not about me, so. Yeah, somebody basically, like, once you got to, your whole attitude changed, right? And so something about your energy is exhausting and whatever. Okay, whatever. Like I said, whoever you are, Cancer, I don't know who you are. Don't know who you are. Somebody is basically saying that they're trying to project something onto you before, like they did something behind your back. This is the number 6, right? While telling people they had your back. That's 1, right? But then they showed themselves to be an open enemy. And this is in your family. They showed themselves to be an open enemy to you. And now they're saying that now that you have either higher, something with you think too highly of yourself. Y'all know, like the horse and carriage or whatever. Like you think too highly of yourself, or ever since you moved up north, or ever since you got married, or ever since something where maybe your money is starting to flow. Basically, they're being shady behind your back because they've already done something behind your back. Y'all get the point, right? To make sure your 7, that's relationships, 8, intimacy and shared possessions, 9, higher learning. They felt like they had all their bases covered. 10, right? You're, trying to get steady, right? Steady behind closed doors, steadying your mind, fulfilling your decisions behind closed doors. It's a 10 of swords, right? They want to make sure they had all bases covered from 7 to 10, right? And that brings us to 3 of swords, right? If you're subtracting that, you're removing them, meaning that you're not talking to them anymore. It's nothing to talk about. You never said you wanted to be a part of something, right? So who were they recruiting you for? Or what were they recruiting you for? The second thing is they had already been shady about you behind your back in terms of your intellect, because we're talking about this because they've talked to you or heard you or listened to you, because we're talking about water here. So something was they already gave you some kind of air that they thought they were better than you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So them feeling like they won something, all they did was bring karma back on themselves. All they did was bring karma back on themselves. So busy trying to be perfect. Yeah, so busy trying to be perfect. Whoever this energy is, so busy trying to be perfect. All they did was bring karma back on themselves. When you talk to them, you say, "Oh, I got your back." No, I'll be there. If they got some kind of a war going on, yeah, what? Count me in. You ain't worried about. You didn't even ask the price if it was a ticket that you had to purchase. Oh, I'm right there. I'm right there. You weren't even thinking about a cost. Because they're your loved one, you feel like this is blood. You feel like, nah, I don't care what it costs. Hey, if I got to save up, I'm going to be there. So somebody wants to call you and say that they did something, they won something, or whatever the case may be, like, nope. So somebody feels like somebody went on a quest and fell for the bait. So Somebody basically like, oh, they crying because, you know, they was all smoke and mirrors about stuff and whatever. But again, that's just somebody's character. That's just how somebody is, right? And you genuinely are compassionate. You genuinely are compassionate. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yep. Something put an end to it. Somebody said something that just put an end to something in your family. It just put an end to something right here. You're in your 12th house. You said something that just said, you know what? Yeah. This person is delusional. Like, for real, this person is, yeah. They treat everybody like they're a project. That's what you basically said, you know. Like they're inspired to treat everybody like they're a project. Not cool at all. Not cool. Yeah, not cool at all. So, like I said, I met somebody today who be writing a letter just saying, you know, she did a great job, but also outlining something else that had nothing really to do with her, right? Outlining something else. Because you can tell when people go above and beyond for their work. You can tell when people are passionate about what they do. But then you can see some people, they just want to burn people. Like, what the heck? Like, what's that about? Like, what? Some people treat everybody like they're a project. So, that's what I'm seeing for you in your reading. Hopefully this is helpful. And I'll see you all in the next video. But yeah, check to see what your zodiac sign is in your first house. Because that's what this is. Somebody could have a first house in a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius in the first house. And so somebody felt like I'm telling y'all, somebody put a cart before the horse. Yeah. Somebody was ready to put a cart before the horse. That's why your past is calling. You're not answering. Because again, you know, somebody loves to try to bait people into stuff. And now they want to smooth things over because somebody realized, oh, dang, you had their back the whole time. When they were just abusing their position. Like, I mean, make that make sense, y'all. Make it make sense, y'all. So, somebody has a Pisces moon. I'm just looking at the symbol on these cards here. So somebody could have a Pisces moon. And then we also have this, somebody could really, really love Cancers, right? Because this is Cancer and Venus. Somebody's Venus could be in Cancer, right? But somebody was really, really trying to mirror your sincere compassion towards somebody. But a person who had been around shady people who, oh, I was praying for you. Who told you to pray for something? Like, we know each other? Or who you know? Who you being shady towards? Like, somebody will call that behavior right out. Like, they will call it right out. Like, praying for you. Like, why? Because you good. Like, you structured and authoritative. Like, what you talking about praying for what? What exactly are you praying for? Exactly. Y'all know the concern, right? The concern. Oh, I was praying for you. You want to start at Ace of Swords with this? Because you starting at Six of Swords. Because you sound real shady. You don't really genuinely sound like you compassionate. So who you talking to? Who have you been talking to? You know what I'm saying? Like, who have you been talking to? Like, go play with somebody else. I was really praying for you. Like, did I tell you something that you should be praying? Because it sound like I was watching something and it just sound like, no, you sound overwhelmed. That's what you sound like. You sound overwhelmed. So yeah, your past is calling. You're not answering. You got a lot of things that's going on here in your cards, and you have already transitioned. And so anything that you're talking about is to help other people, right? And so you got to be real clear, Cancer. You got to be real clear that you may have gone through storms of yourself, but that you're trying to help other people through their storms, right? Because clearly somebody thinks that they're smarter than you are, they're brighter than you are, they have more access to education or whatever than you do, and you just have the heart to serve people. That's it. That's it. You're not being shady. Like, you ain't put that kind of stuff on social media. You're not gonna put that kind of stuff on, these spaces where you don't really know, you haven't really talked to a person. Somebody just, That's what I have for you. Hopefully this is helpful, but you got into the root of something. You've gotten to the root of something. That's what's so disappointing when you're dealing with shady family members. You find out from another family member that they were doing something, they were moving somewhere to help people's kids or their parents or helping other people, and then you got all this conversation going on behind, and again, this is in your own family, behind people's backs, and then they, like I said, past is calling, you ain't even answering. That's what I have for you. All right, bye.